When we do the fixed asset note, there is a few basic concepts that we need to understand, and that is the cost, accumulated depreciation, and the carrying value. Now basically the cost is what it cost you at the beginning. What did you pay for it? The accumulated depreciation is my depreciation. At the end of the year, I'm going to add to my depreciation each time. And cost price minus accumulated depreciation gives me the carrying value. And that is how much is my product worth, or how much is my land, my vehicles or my equipment worth. Alright, so I'm just going to do a basic fixed asset note and show you how to do this. Alright, so say for example, they tell us that the cost price for my land and buildings is 270,000 rand. Alright, so that I will add or write there in cost price. Then they tell us that our vehicles is 50,000 and our equipment is 130,000 rand. Alright, don't worry about the total column, that is just each row we will add up to the total column. Alright, then they give us the accumulated depreciation. Now this is at the beginning of my financial year, as I still need to calculate my depreciation for this year. Alright, so they tell us that our vehicles depreciation is 5,000 rand, and this will be in brackets because we are going to deduct. And then they will tell us that our equipment's accumulated depreciation is 60,000 rand. Alright, so all you're going to do now is you're going to say cost minus accumulated depreciation. So we are going to have 270,000 rand at our land and buildings. Our vehicles will be 50,000 minus 5,000, so that is 45,000. And then our equipment is 130 minus 60, so that then will be 70,000 rand. Alright, so that is my carrying value. Then if we buy some new assets, we will write it at additions. So say for example we've bought new vehicles of 15,000 rand during my financial year. Alright, the next thing is the depreciation for the year. So I'm not going to explain now how to calculate this. Say for example they gave us the amounts, or you can do accumulated depreciation. Then you will just write in what the accumulated depreciation for the year is. So it's 7,800 rand for vehicles, and then for my equipment it is, for example, 12,000 rand. Alright, at a later stage I will explain how to get depreciation and how to calculate depreciation. So now I've calculated my depreciation and then I've written that in. Alright, now I'm going to say, so I need to take my cost price, I need to add my additions to get my cost price at the end of my financial year. So remember, this part is the beginning of the financial year, and this part is the end of my financial year. So 270 plus 0 equals 270,000 at the end of my financial year. 45,000 rand at the beginning, 50,000 rand at the beginning, plus my additions of 15,000 rand, so my cost price for my vehicles at the end of the financial year is 65,000 rand, and nothing happened to my equipment, so that's just 100,000 rand. Then I need to calculate my accumulated depreciation at the end of my year. So I'm going to say it's my accumulated depreciation at the beginning of the year plus my depreciation for the year, which will be equal to my accumulated depreciation at the end of my financial year. Alright, so I'm going to say it's 5,000 plus 7,800, again in brackets. Alright, and that is what? 12,800 rand. Alright, then I'm also going to do the same with my equipment. So it is 60,000 plus 12,000, which is 72,000. Alright, that is my accumulated depreciation at the end of the year. And then also I need to calculate my carrying value. Land and buildings is just 270,000. Then I'm going to say it's 65,000 minus my 12,800 rand, and that will be, 12,800, sorry, and that's 52,500, and then equipment will be 130,000 minus 72,000 rand, and that will be 58,000 rand. Right, so my carrying value is just cost price minus accumulated. Alright, so what's going to go to my balance sheet? Alright, so the total of these three, my carrying value at the end of the year, that is going to go to my balance sheet. That's going to go to my balance sheet, and then 12,000 plus 7,800, that my depreciation for the year is going to go to my income statement underneath expenses, and that will be part of my income statement.